Well guys, welcome back to the channel. Alan Piper. You get lit and we'll talk about the subject at hand. In a Medico VFQ Acorn, slightly rusticated, I have distinguished gentleman has a change of pace heading into fall. So, sorry, itch. I watched a video from Potter Piper and Piper Dave the other day. Let me start by saying, I love seeing YTPC friendships blossom. It's so cool. Having been around now, I guess I'm kind of a dinosaur now that I've been around for more than a few years. But anyway, one thing they were talking about, the main thing of their video, if you watch the whole thing, it was kind of long, was reviews. And not just, how you do a review or whatever, but why do you give the score you give and what goes into that score? And I thought, that's a good topic. So I will start with me. The reason that I started doing reviews was because I wanted to, at least for people to have another subjective, because reviews are subjective, take on a whatever blend. And I know when I was a big into cigars for many years. And Brian Glenn of Cigar Obsession, which unfortunately YouTube attacked him and he's gone. But anyway, I loved his style of reviews, and I still do that to this day. I felt like he gave you play by play, flavor by flavor, what he was tasting, what he was feeling. There you go. Gave you a little background of the cigar, and it was good stuff. So that was the whole reason I started doing reviews, was just so that we had another option for pipe tobacco. Because when I started watching pipe tobacco reviews, really, you had a few, like Blend Recommender. He hadn't been around in forever, and he did some of the Carja blends. Matches, of course. Bradley from Stuff and Things. I'm thinking of Strict Pipe. I don't think Mutton Chop back in the day did reviews. Could be wrong. He did more of instructional videos. Kel, or Cal, I can't Kel, maybe, from Smoke Rings, Pipe Dreams. I know he did a few. Alan Kerslake did a few. I'm going back for some people, probably never heard of some of those guys. But anyway, that's why I started it. And I wanted to do it. So people just had another thought on a blend, if maybe somebody hadn't reviewed it. So what I did in the beginning, and I've just stuck with it to this day, is I do an A, B, C, D, or F rating. And the reasoning was because when I started piping, I found Eddie Gray, who we all know and love, and he recommended keeping a pipe journal, so that way you could remember what pipe you smoked, what blend you smoked, what you liked about it, and then he recommended doing a rating system, excuse me, of something, 1 to 5, A to F, and A to F just made sense to me. So I had to make notes. because I was going to forget all this. But Potter Piper, I think, was the one that was like, well, what actually, or maybe it was Piper Dave, what actually goes into making an A for you, or an F, or a 10 out of 10, or a whatever, or like, Corvette Jim does like seven, he'll do like a 7.3 or something, And so I started thinking, I'm like, what does like constitute it? And so I started thinking about my A tobaccos, right? Half and half, Sir Walter, well, the old Sir Walter Raleigh, Codger Corner, Velvet, uh, uh, Star of the East Flake, okay, that type of stuff. So I never thought about it until just recently, but when that video popped up, the cut of the tobacco does make a difference for me. So that's the first thing. I love rough cut tobacco. Um, think half and half, Granger, Sir Walter Raleigh, uh, Prince Albert's about as uh, crimp cut, not ribbons. I couldn't think of the word. Been a long day. That I want to get to. And then outside of that, I actually kind of prefer a plug over a flake, and then a flake, and then a cake, or cake and then a flake. But it does go into my rating. It does as part of it. The moisture. Is it, when I was first learning how to smoke, Samuel Gawith was the thing. I bought a ton of it, and I could not keep it lit. So it does go into my rating as well. The burn rate. How does it burn? Is it constantly being relit? Again, that goes with moisture. Does it just flash fire? Like for instance, Semois, just flashes in a pan and it's gone. So this is something I talked about a lot on my first reviews, my first 2 or 3 years of my reviews, but I know a lot of guys didn't understand what I was meaning, so I kind of dropped it from my reviews. But the mouth feel. So do you have a full mouth feel, medium, thin, wispy? Like Virginias to me are very, very thin smoke, very thin bodied. They don't have a lot of oomph behind them, whereas like a good hearty English has a lot of full body, Father Dempsey, something like that. Burleys are kind of a medium full. So that absolutely goes into my ratings. Of course, the taste. Taste is subjective. Some people love leathery, earthy notes. Other people love floral. Some people love even that soapy floral that you get from some of the perfumey blends of the Gawith and Hogarth and stuff. I don't care for that. But I love licorice, so licorice in a blend is a plus to me. It ticks it up a little bit for me. Complexity or lack thereof is the next one. I am not, like tonight, I wanted a little something different, but I'm not one that has to have a complex blend every time I smoked. When I first started, I did. I was smoking a lot of Mississippi River Special Reserve because I would probably smoke once every couple weeks a pipe, and I wanted that rich, complex experience to sit there and just puff on it and tease out the flavor. So that's still fun for me. But now I go to more of the feeling that I get from the tobacco. And that's that comfort feeling. And I've talked about that on my channel before too. Fact of the matter is, after COVID, I just wanted things simpler, and I wanted comfort feeling. I wanted to forget about my day because I do a lot of complex thinking through my day, and just let go. And so, whether you want a complex blend, which I still go for complex blends some, but generally speaking, I'm a straight-laced profile, comfort profile. And lastly is the nicotine. And I don't smoke for nicotine. I don't enjoy the feelings that nicotine give me. Don't get me wrong. You get a little buzz sometimes and then you relax and it's nice. But, if it gets to be like Irish Flake, and I have a friend on here, Swaggy Man Piper, loves Irish Flake. I'm pretty sure he can smoke bowl after bowl after bowl of that and have no problem. Everett Young, he can smoke bowl after bowl of Haunted Bookshop followed by Irish Flake. I'd be so sick. So for me, I always wanted to try to give a nicotine rating, and I forget in some of my videos, and I shouldn't, but I try to give a nicotine rating to give somebody else at least an idea, one idea of what's going on, nicotine wise, because I know in the beginning I was super sensitive to nicotine, and people talk about these great complex blends, but I'd have like a quarter of a bowl and I'd be so sick. So that was one thing, and so that does go into my rating. So if it's a super good complex blend and I love all the flavors, but the nicotine is just super high, then it's going to drop it for me. So I thought I would like quantify my ratings. I don't think I've ever quantified my ratings on my reviews. And I may start trying to do that when I do each review, if I can remember. I am talking a lot, sorry. Oh, Distinguished Gentleman's good, guys. Such a different change of pace. So an A is I will cellar this blend. There will be pounds of this in my cellar. So for the top off my, top again, my A's are my half and halves, Sir Walter Raleigh's, Granger's, Velvets, Prince Albert's, Carter Hall, Star of the East Lake, Watch City's Nor'easter, Father Dempsey, Blend for Danny Kaye, Distinguished Gentleman, I'm trying to go through, the Old Paladin was on there, Captain Black Platinum, Boswell's Black Cherry. I mean, all of those are A blends for me. Tree Mix, they're just great. London Burley. All of those are A's for me. B is I will buy more of this blend, but I may not cellar that deep. So B's for me would be, trying to think. So B's would be for me like the Church Warden from Watch City Cigar. Trying to remember, I'm going through my cellar in my head. Warhorse Bar and Warhorse Green. They moved down to a B just because my nicotine tolerance has gone down recently. Another B would be Marlin Flake, only because I've kind of fallen out of love with a lot of Virginia Preak blends. It's still very good, but I probably won't buy as much of it anymore. Okay, so C is an average blend that I tend to jar up and keep to have more at a later date, or it's too similar to another blend that I already have pounds of. So the classic example of that was just recently when I did Morley's Best and Barking Dog. I have so much Barking Dog and so much Revelation Match that Morley's Best would just be adding to another of that same profile. So that's kind of a classic for me. So that's a classic C for me. D is I really don't care for this blend and I probably won't buy more of it. But like if I was out with company or something and, I hadn't had it in a while and so they're like, hey, do you want to try, this blend? I would probably have it. And then an F is if this was the last tobacco on earth, I wouldn't smoke at all. Classic examples of F's in Paladin's repertoire are bacon old fashioned. I'm sorry, guys, and I know some of y'all love it, and I love y'all dearly no matter what, but Samuel Gawith's Perfection, that stuff was vile. Ennerdale, I know a lot of you guys like it. I couldn't stand it. What's another one? I will tell you this. I will tell you this right off the bat. From a codger, Mixture 79 will go from an A to an F. That's one of the weirdest blends that I have. And so because it goes from an A to an F for me, sometimes it's an A for me, other times it's an F. I just put it in the C category. So I have some of it, but I'm not really, I'm not gonna really chase it or cellar it, right? Um, yeah, it's a chameleon. And I guess, like Parsimonious Piper, some of what plays into my decision too is whether you or not you can get it. But I try to leave that out because I try to just enjoy the tobacco on its merits of what I'm having at the time, because life's short, live in the moment, and go from that. But because like if that was the case, if that really played that much into a role, I would probably downgrade London Burley because you can't get it. I'll give you an example of that too. Tilbury, Esotericus Tilbury, probably tied with Stonehaven for my favorite Esoterica blend. Tilbury was the smoothest Esoterica I'd ever had, and I got to try them all early on. I got to try Woodbridge, Kingsbridge, um, Tilbury, Stonehaven, Margate, um, the other funky one, Kingsbridge, Woodbridge, and there's another one, Ramsgate. And they were all okay. I gave a lot of them away. Penzance I thought Penzance was an F for me. I did not like Penzance. Penzance tasted like completely the Irish soap, Irish Spring. But Tilbury and Stonehaven are A's for what they are, but they drop to C's or D's because you can't get them, you know. But based on its merits, those are A tobaccos to me, you know. Um, so yeah, that was a very thought-provoking video. I appreciated that, guys. I never really sat down and thought of all of the things that go into like when I review things. I think this is just my opinion on my channel, um, of what constitutes my A to F rating. So hope that's interesting, guys. If you guys do reviews or whatever, is it? I think a lot of you guys just do I like it or not. But I think if you sit down and think about it, there's probably more that goes into that. Why do you like it? Like, what about, for St. David, what do you like about Prince Albert that you didn't now like about the new Sir Walter Raleigh? I know what I don't like about Sir Walter Raleigh now and what I love about Prince Albert, but, maybe it's different for you. So anyway, great video, guys. So I wanted to put that out there. And like I said, I may try to put a little picture or something in my rating scale in my videos or my reviews. So, all right, guys, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the night, and we will see you very soon on another Paladin Piper video. Take care.